Since the global liquidity crisis of 2008, the world central banks have stepped in to rescue the global economy. Their plan has been to inject general liquidity into the system, which will goose economic growth and, together with 0% interest rates, will make the burden of servicing debt levels more bearable. So, where are we in this story? Indeed, the central banks have flooded the markets with money via their quantitative easing and asset purchase programs. Collectively, the Fed, Bank of England, European Central Bank, and Bank of Japan have increased their balance sheets, by spending money that they created from thin air, mind you, from approximately $5 trillion at the end of 2008 to about $9 trillion today. That's a $4 trillion or 80% increase in just 6 years. Wow. So, okay, what did all that money do for us? Asset prices like stocks, bonds, and real estate went bonkers. This was a goal of the central bankers, to create a wealth effect that would make folks feel richer so they'd spend more money. All that extra consumption would increase GDP, making the economy stronger. A funny thing happened, though. All that new wealth really only concentrated in the hands of the already wealthy, so most folks didn't really benefit much. In fact, the average person has found themselves increasingly priced out of asset classes like real estate. And economic growth didn't spark back nearly as quickly or as strongly as the central planners hoped. Wages have remained stagnant in both real and nominal terms. And even though the unemployment rate finally came down, most of that was due to chronically out-of-work people not being counted anymore. And most of the jobs being created are low-paying, temporary jobs very different from the ones that were lost. And the real cause of the 2008 crisis, that of too much debt, only got worse. Just looking at the U.S. national debt alone, which doesn't include consumer and corporate debt, nor the much larger unfunded liabilities of entitlement programs like Social Security and Medicare, it's doubled from nearly $6.3 trillion to nearly $13 trillion since President Obama took office in January 2009. Wow, that all doesn't sound very good. But surely we're out of the woods now, right? After more than nearly 6 years of pumping historic amounts of stimulus into the global economy, we've got the mojo we need to kick economic growth into high gear, right? Well, let's listen to some recent headlines from some of the top economic experts. The IMF issued a warning on January 15th that the global economy is facing very strong headwinds, so bad that Managing Director Christine Lagarde is warning they could bring the weak economy to its knees if sluggish growth continues, as is forecasted. The Bank of International Settlement, similarly, warned that global growth must slow further, largely due to the fact that the economy's addiction to central bank money printing is unsustainable and causing dangerous imbalances, stating that, quote, highly accommodative monetary policies have become a threat. Definitely not good. But the U.S. is doing better than the rest of the world. Maybe, if it strengthens from here, its prosperity will bring all the other countries up with it. Sadly, the chances for this are not looking good. The macroeconomic environment in the U.S. is fast deteriorating. In fact, Bloomberg's Macro U.S. Surprise Index since Thanksgiving is off to the worst start in 11 years. And with the jobs engine of America, shale oil, getting obliterated by the over 50% drop in oil in the past 3 months, things are likely to worsen from here. So, now that we know what the data says, which is, 1, the central banks have injected tremendous liquidity into world markets, 2, but the hope for return to healthy economic growth has not materialized, and 3, in fact, the global economy is slowing down again, it's hard not to conclude that the policies of the world's central banks have largely been a failure. For certain, it's hard to call them a success. So given this, does this make you feel comfortable that stock prices are near their all-time highs? As in all of history? After all, stocks, in theory at least, are priced off of earnings growth expectations. Shouldn't the concerns about future economic growth that we've just mentioned here merit some degree of caution that future earnings may turn out to be slightly less than awesome? They sure do for me. If you're one of the millions of folks with most of your wealth in the stock market, or the real estate market, we can make the same case there, it's time to start thinking defensively. Thank you for listening.